Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ameen ya rabbal alameen. So here we are with our session number 147, and inshallah we are going to start our session with a quick review. So name the pronoun that can be raf, nasb, and jar. It can be a raf, nasb, and jar. Do you remember any pronoun that we have covered in our last session that can be raf, that can be jar, and nasb as well? There is a name for that pronoun. Yeah, pronouns can be, attached pronouns. Pronouns can be independent pronouns. They are damair al-munfasila, damair al-muttasila, but there is one particular pronoun that you see, and it can be raf, it can be nasb, and it can be jar as well. Can hua, can hua, let me rephrase my question. Can hua be nasb or jar? What do you think? No, hua cannot be nasb or jar. So there is one, and Sister Shamim came up with the name. Yes, it is na al-mutakallimin. Na al-mutakallimin. That can be rafa, nasab, jar. It can be of any status. And this was something that we were covering towards the end of our session. We learned if pronoun na al-mutakallimin is seen, you will see that it can be file. In case of razaqna, it can be maf'ul bihi in case of razaqana Allahu, and it is jar in status in word Rabbana. Then we covered a verse from Surah Ali Imran, الذين يقولون ربنا إننا آمنا. In case of Rabbana, what is the status of na? It is jar. In case of innana, what is the status of na? It is nasb status. When you come to amanna, what's the status of na now? We believed. It is we who believed. It is raf status. So now do not forget the name of the pronoun that is raf, nasb, and jar. It is available in all three forms. Is na al mutakallimin. Okay, and this is in your slides that have been shared with you in the past. So, they are separate slides for this topic. I just, put them together for the session so that, when we are reviewing everything, it's all, at one place. Is this clear to everyone now? So if I'm asking you the name of the pronoun, that is Rafa Nasb Jar, you are going to tell me Na al Mutakallimin is the name of that very pronoun. It can be Rafa Nasb Jar. Very important thing, right? So inshallah, when we are reviewing things and I'm putting questions in a different way and form, it is just so that you can where to collect it from your brain and put it in an answer, so that it's clear and just like a day for you, inshallah. Are all attached pronouns nasb and jar? Damirul muttasila, is every damir muttasil nasb or jar? No, right? Brother, can you please close your video? We are not allowed to share video. So, are all attached pronouns nasb and jar? So no, there are pronouns. There are pronouns that are attached, and we covered them in our last session, and we have been covering them when we were learning our fail madin, fail mudari, that there are certain pronouns that you see at the end of fail that are going to be a rough in status to, and that is very well done. And we just did one na. When we see razaqna, na is an attached pronoun. It is attached to a word. It is in the form. It is attached to a fail, but it's a doer pronoun in that fail, right? I hope that is clear. So now, again, I just make sure that I review stuff with you so that everyone comes on the same page and it's easy for each and every one of you. Are all independent pronouns rough in status? No. What is the next option? Are all independent pronouns? Okay, so they can be raf, nas, and nasb. Can they be jar as well? Can independent pronoun be jar as well? No, it's not going to be jar. Remember that, okay? It's not going to be jar, okay? Can pronoun be harf? Can you ever label pronoun as a harf? La mahalla lahu min al-i'rab? Yes, yes, there are cases when you will label your pronoun as harf, right? When you treat your pronoun as harf, and your authentic scholars have done so. So, we are just not doing something different. We are just following what, scholars have already done. So this was isna al-mutakallimin. Isna al-mutakallimin independent pronoun? What do you think? It is all rafa, nasab, and jar, but it is available in all three forms. So when it is rough in status, is it independent? No, in that state too, it is attached. It is muttasil, very well done. But still, despite being muttasil, your pronoun is rough in status. Because now everyone is aware that you can have attached pronouns, and there are certain attached pronouns that we have covered in our last session that that were rough in status. So, who remembers the name of attached pronouns that are rough in status? Can someone, can we try? We covered few of them in our last session. Actually, we may have covered all of them in our last session, but do you want to try? Number one is na al mutakallimin. Yes, na al mutakallimin is the one. Ta'ul fa'il is the one. We started with ta'ul fa'il in our last session. Then there is wawil jama'a. There is ya'ul mukhatiba, and then how many? Aliful isnain. Very well done. So there are almost six, almost. So now mutakallimin, ta'ul fa'il, then comes aliful isnain, wawil jama'a, and then there is one noonun niswa. Very well done. So we have covered all of them, right? So in your slides, make sure this table you have to, and I may have mentioned it in our last session as well, you must know this table by heart. Okay, because once you have identified your task in your fail, now the job is to memorize their name. That one is ta'ul fa'il, one is aliful isnain, one is wawil jama'a, then is yaul mukhataba, then is nunun niswa, then is naul fa'ilin. Number four, are you saying asking about the question number 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. So can pronoun be harf? And when we were in our last session, if you remember, Sister Afsha, we have covered that this ka, iyaka, or iyahu, according to Sibove, if we treat them as a separate word, iya as a separate word, and then kaf, for example, let's take an example of iyaka. So this kaf attached to iya, kaf is harf khitab, iya is actually the pronoun which is damir mabni fi mahalli nasbin maf'ulun bihi. Is this clear? Iya is actually a pronoun. The ka attached is harf khitab. When you say harf khitab, that means you know that this is la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab. It is a pronoun, but it is acting as a harf in this case. When it is attached, when all the pronouns in this case, according to Sibove, this this yaul mukhataba, yaul mutakallim, sorry, yaul mutakallim, naul mutakallimin, haul ghaib, all these has, all these kafs, according to Sibove, they are haruf. In this case, pronoun is a harf. It's not an ism. That is why you see on this slide that it is not written here, but you will, some of the Arab books will say kaf harf hitab la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab. Is it clear now? Alhamdulillah. So you, however, I have taught you in the last session. Please, if you have not, if there is still confusion, you will hear me saying in the last session that you can treat it together as well. There is one way of treating it together where you are seeing damir baris. And what is the meaning of baris? Who can tell me the meaning of baris? Because some of the Arab books are very particular about this thing as well. That's something that is visible. Because when you are saying damir mustatir, then it is important for you to know what is baris. Then if it is hidden, then obviously there must be a time when something is visible. So when they are visible, they are in this form. Okay, all these pronouns that are visible, huwa, hiya, like huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, all these, we have covered that they are baris. Okay. inshallah. So everyone on the same page now? Okay, so let's start from where we left. And this is the table that you all need to be, as I said, you should be very good with that. In this case, now I am showing you fail madin. All this is a fail madi table, right? And this word nasara, in case of sarf, where is it coming from? Do you remember? If I ask you the surf of Nasara, it's from family one, very well done. It is mujarrad, there is nothing extra attached, right? There is no hamza, there is no alif, there is no ta. It is mujarrad. It is the root letters are as such, right? Nasara. When you see word Nasara, how do you translate it? Nasara means to help, right? So now translate Nasara for me. Everyone must be doing. This is the first one, Nasara. I did not say Nasara. I said Nasara. Right? He helped. So when I say Nasara, he helped, you are seeing three root letters. Do you see he in this in this word? Is it visible? There is nothing visible. If it was to be visible, where will it be? Is it going to be in between noon and sod, or sod and raw, or in the beginning or at the end? So my dear sisters, it is very important. It is very important, because this concept, and you must be saying that there is so much repetition. The repetition is important because there, sometimes, there are still people who are going to confuse alamatul mudare with a pronoun. So you must be very clear with that. If there is a pronoun that is raf, nasb, or jar, whichever way, pronoun is always going to attach itself to the end of the word. It's not like lam tawkid, lamul muzahlaka, or lamul ibtida, or lamul faraka, which attaches itself to the beginning of the word. Pronouns, when it comes to pronouns, where are they going to attach themselves to? At the beginning of the word, or at the end of the word, or in the middle of the word? Must remember, pronouns are going to attach themselves to the end of the word. So when this classification is done, the damir muttasil or the damir munfasil, must remember, muttasil is going to be muttasil to the end of the word. Okay, here in nasara, you are not seeing anything attached to the end. So what will you say about damir? Is it baris or is it mustatir now? It is mustatir, right? So now when word like this is there, you will say damir mustatir takdiruhu jawazan hua, right? So that is that. Okay, it is damir mustatir. When you go on to nasara, the next column, nasara. Now what do you see? They too helped. My dear sisters, where is they too coming from? The damir is baris. Both of them is coming from where? Which is the pronoun visible? Now, if I ask you, is the pronoun visible? You are going to tell me, yes, aliful isnain is the pronoun. It is baris, and that is it. Is it clear to each and every one of you? When you see nasaru, nasaru, now tell me, they helped, and it means it is more than two. It could be three or more. So now tell me, is the mir baris, which means is the mir visible? It is visible in the form of wabil jama'a, right? What is the pronoun? You are going to tell me the name of the pronoun, and if you are familiar with the name of the pronoun, that is what I'm expecting now from you. You're going to tell me the name of the pronoun is wabil jama'a, and it is wabil jama'a. What is the waw of plural? And that is how I got my pronoun they, and it is very clear, and I can see it, right? So this wabil jama'a is, what's the status? It is rough in status. What's the status of aliful isnain? It is rough in status. What is the status of damir mustatir hua? It is rough in status. So this is, this should be, something that should be in everyone's mind. Whether they are visible, whether they are hidden, your pronoun within a fail are going to be rough in status. Okay? With damir mustatir and damir baris, in this case are going to be rough in status. So when you come on to nasarat, when I taught you about ta'ul file, the ta had fatha, dhamma, kasra, and that's it. Did I show you any pronoun there when I was teaching you ta'ul file that had a sukoon here? Was there anything with a sukoon there? Katabtu, katabta, katabti, katabtuma, katabtum, katabtunna. Anything with a sukoon. Nothing was with a sukoon. So now come on to this table and now you tell me, if there was nothing there, what is this ta? This ta is a feminine ta, and we have learned it. This is ta'ut ta'nis. Ta'ut ta'nis. Sister Shamim, if you can write in Arabic ta'ut ta'nis, barakallahu feek, my dear sister. So everyone must have this in your notes, and this will be in your slides. This has been in your previous slides because these people have already covered this topic, so that's why it's not on these slides right now. So ta'ut ta'nis, this is a harf, and what is the role of this tautanis? What do you think? As the name indicates, what is this tautanis telling you? That the doer in this case is here. The doer in this case is here. It is la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab. Very well done. It has no i'rab because it's a harf, right? When I asked you, give me the status of alif, give me status of waw, Sister Faiza and brother, all you all, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, were able to tell me the status is rough, right? But when I ask you in case of Nasarat, what is the status of harf tanis, harf taul tanis? It is going to be la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab. Everyone with me on the same page? So if it is just denoting, it is just the sign that it is just making a fail feminine, where is the pronoun? Should we say the pronoun is hidden? It is damir mustatir. Barakallahu fi. It is hidden. It is damir mustatir. What is the status of that damir mustatir? In case of nasarat, it is rough in status. Both nasara, nasarat had damir mustatir, that is rough in status, because both are doing an action. He helped, she helped. They did something, and every doer is rough in status. Type 1 if it is clear to all my sisters and brothers. Yeah. Okay. Now, when you look at word nasarata, how is it different from nasara? It has an alif attached, and there is a ta there, right? It has, in addition to an alif, there is a ta there, right? So what is the role of ta? Ta'ut tanis is there. Very well done, Sister Shiraz. So, Sister Shiraz, this ta'ut tanis here was with the sakoon, and here we are seeing it with fatha. Do you know why? And we have done it in the past, but for everyone to be, some of the people may have recently joined, so for them, there is an alif after it, and there are two sakoons. In Arabic, can two sakoons be together? Can two sakoons come together in Arabic? Never. If there are two sukoons together, the first get a haraka. If there are two sukoons together, the first gets a haraka. And this is a rule of iltaqai sakinain. When there is an alif after, which goes with alif, which haraka goes with alif? Fatha dama kasra. Among fatha dama kasra, which is friends with alif, the friends with alif is fatha. Very well done. So that is why the same very ta'utanis that was sakunified in case of nasarat is now fathafied. Make sense? It is carrying a fatha according to the rule of iltaqa sakinain. But remember, it's the same ta'utanis. And if I ask you, what is the i'rab for that? What is the grammar for that? You're going to tell me it's la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab because it is harf tanis, right? It is harf tanis. That is why it is going to be la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab. It will have no i'rab. But when I go on to ask you, give me the status of aliful isnain. What's the status of aliful isnain? Since it's a pronoun, aliful isnain is a pronoun, and it's doing the action. Therefore, you are going to tell me that this is mabni ala sukun fi muhalli rafa. R is fine. R is good. As long as you know the doers are rough in status, that will work. Okay. When I go on to see nasarna, in case of nasarna, translate it, they female helped. Do you see pronoun? Do you see pronoun? If your pronoun is visible, you name it damir bariz, damir muttasil bariz, nunun niswa, and it is rough in status, right? Nunun niswa is rough in status. And remember, the haraka on nunun niswa is fatha, and this noon is just simple one noon, okay? Very well done. Nunun niswa, damir muttasil baris. Very well done. Now when you go on to see nasarat, In all the rest of the table, everything, every pronoun that is visible has been labeled for you. Has been labeled for you. So nasarta, ta'ul fa'il. Nasartuma, ta'ul fa'il. What is ma? What is the, you have learned among the types of ma, you have learned this type as among the type which was included ma'ul isnain, right? Ma'al isnain. Ma'ul tasniya, not isnain, ma'ul tasniya, right? Ma'at tasniya. Then when you went on to see nasartum, meme is mimul jama. It is again harf, okay? Ta is a ism, meme is harf. In case of nasarti, ta'ul fa'il. In case of nasartuma, the same thing repeats. In case of nasartunna, ta'ul fa'il is a doer, noon mushaddada. We have done it in the last session. It is noon li jamail inas. Noon li jamail inas, not niswa. Noon and niswa is going to be with one noon. Okay. When you see nasar tunna, noon li jamail inas. It is noon of plural. Okay. Noon, which is a sign of plural. Okay. It's a harf. It is la mahalla laha min al i'rab. Okay. But when you look at noon niswa, what are the i'rab for that? It is damir. It is raf, right? It's an ism. But noon li jama il inath is just a harf. La mahalla laha min al i'rab. Okay? And the rest is easy, right? Inath means feminine. Inath means feminine. Sa with the ending sa. Okay? Okay, so now let's look at quickly, and we are not going to be spending a lot of time there because we already have spent 22 minutes on this. So now, all that is green on Mudare table, give me the name for all that is green, that has been highlighted as green. Alamatul Mudare. Alamatul Mudare. So my dear sisters, do not call it pronoun. It is not pronoun, okay? So ya or ta or noon or hamza, anith is alamatul mudari. If it was to be pronoun is going to be at the end of the word. In case of yansuru, tansuru, ansuru, nansuru, is there any visible pronoun? Is there any damir baris for these? Any damir baris for these? And I want each and every one to answer so that I can move forward with the topic for today, because we have been doing that since second term, right? There is no damir baris. In case of yansurani, tansurani, anything visible, any pronoun visible. If I asked you, give me the pronoun for this second column, everyone should answer. Please, if you are drinking your tea, please put your cup on the table and write the doer for me. I really want everyone to write. Damir baris alfil ithnain. Mabni ala sakun fi mahalli raf'a, because it is the doer. Okay. In case of majhul, it's going to be again raf and status because it's going to be naibul fa'il. In case you see these alif in yakunani, fail naqis, it's again going to be rafa because it's going to be ismu kana, right? Ismu kana. So in all three cases, it's going to be raf. So make sure you write it as raf ism and recognize it as the mir baris and recognize its role. What are all these noons after the alif in case of the dual table? What is this noon? Noon kasra, noon kasra, noon kasra. Noonul Arab, very well done. Noonul Arab, if it is not there, it changes the status of Mudare. It becomes mansub or majzoom. Therefore, we gave this noon a name, Noonul Arab. And also my sisters have remembered that we also call in our group, we also call it Noonul Raf because it is only there when Mudare is marfu in status. Therefore, we also call it Noonul Raf. So now go on to see the last column. Yansuruna is the pronoun visible. Baris. Can you figure out the pronoun by looking at the word? Yes. Wabil Jama'a is there that tells you the doer is they, and there is masculine plural doer, and they, because the alamatul mudari in this case is ya. In case of yansurna, What is there to tell you the doer? Is damir baris? It is baris. It is not mustatir, right? It is baris, and it is nunun niswa. Now see, nunun niswa. Everyone, please note, this is nunun niswa, and and Nunun Niswa is a pronoun, right? With Noon Fatha. Now go on to see Tansuruna, same thing, right? Wawul Jama is a visible pronoun. In case of Tansurna, Nunun Niswa is a visible pronoun. And the rest, you are seeing Ansuru, Nansuru. You already told me the mir is Mustatir, and you know it is ana when the hamza is alamatul mudare, and you told me, you're going to tell me that it is nahnu when alamatul mudare is noon. In case of tansurina, how is it different from the rest of them? Do you see anything that can be a visible pronoun? Yes, this very pronoun is yaul mukhataba. The name is yaul mukhataba. The one, mukhataba means, in Urdu we use this word. Mukhatab is the one you are addressing, right? Khitab means to address someone, right? So when you are saying you eat apples, you like to eat this, you're talking to someone, you're addressing someone, right? So this yaul mukhataba, what is the status for yaul mukhataba? Rafin status. How is Yansurna and Tansuruna? Both have a noon. How are they different? Can somebody tell me how is noon of Yansurna different from noon of Yansuruna? Okay. Okay. So one, you're telling me one is a pronoun, nunun niswa is a pronoun, and nunul other is for Arab. So it is for Arab. The pronoun is already there in the form of wawil jama'a. What is nunul Arab? Is it an ism or a harf? That will, it's a harf. Remember that. And that will make your job very easy. You can drop from noon from yansuruna, noon from tansuruna. Why cannot you make, how do you make your hunna or and tunna madzum and mansub? How can you make them mansub and madzum? Very well done. It's mabni. Why? Why? Why it is mabni? Why cannot I remove this noon, yansurna? I should be able to. For all rest, I remove the noon. Very well done. We can never remove a pronoun from a fail, and that is why you should never call a fail of Arabic language a verb. It's a wrong name. Okay? Cannot remove file. Very well done, because fail in every fail, every fail has a pronoun, whether nakis or tam. Every fail, or even it's you always remember, just think of it as a pronoun. You can never remove a pronoun from a fail. That is why nunun niswa, af'al with nunun niswa that are mudare are mabni, non-flexible. Is this clear to each and every one of you? Alhamdulillah, everyone. If I put you through a exam, a quiz, you will all be able to answer. Everyone will take 100%, inshallah. Inshallah. Okay. So these are important points. We cannot skip them because these are the bread and butter of our grammar. Okay. So now this is all you have covered already. In case of mudare, there are 4 visible pronouns, and these include aliful isnain, wawil jama'a, nunun niswa, yaul mukhataba. Okay, and the af'al that have wawil jama'a, aliful isnain, yaul mukhataba. What is the name for them? For those of you who have already covered this, I think it should be easy now. That there are 5 af'al that have wabil jama'a, aliful isnain, yaul mukhataba. And in addition to these pronouns, they have something else. So these af'al are called af'alul khamsa. Remember that. Among these ones, there are 5 af'al: yansurani, yansuruna, tansurani, and all these alif ones, and this tansurina and this tansuruna. These 5 af'al are af'alul khamsa. Yes, it is written on the top of the slide as well, but I keep on, I just, sometimes repetition, something helps, okay, for people to retain the concept, inshallah. Okay, my dear sisters. So remember all of them, all those af'al in mudare that have this wawil jama'a, aliful isnain, and ya'ul muqatiba. These three. You have, my dear sisters, four pronouns that are visible in fail mudari, right? Four pronouns are visible in fail mudari, but only those that have aliful isnain, wawil jama'a, yaul mukhatiba are going to be called the falul khamsa. Okay, so that is important for you to know, because these afal have very one thing special among them. These afal has one thing common, and who is going to tell me? Nunul i'rab. These afal are those afal that are made nasb or jazm by noon, by removal of noon, by omission of noon. So these afal share one thing in common. What is common in them? When they are rafin status, they have nunur rafa attached at the end. As you can see, yansuruna, tansuruna, yansurani, tansurani, tansurina. But when they are nasb or jazm, what happens to the noon? The noon is taken off. So these af'al are going to be called af'alul khamsa. Okay, noon gets omitted. Yes, very well done. So there is another way of putting your damair, and let me see what the time is, and because I have a lot on the slides to share. So you will see the mir mutakallim in when it is munfasil. Mutakallim means, mutakallim includes ana, nahnu, both. So when it is independent, it's going to be in the form of ana, nahnu, and iyaya, iyana. Okay, the first person. So just first person, damir mutakallim, first person. When it is munfasil, when it is munfasil, what are the forms that you are going to see it? It is just another way of putting the things together. Okay, it's you have covered all that, but it's just another way of putting things together. I have just copy pasted it from Google, so benefit from it. You don't have my sign on that because I did not make this table. So may Allah bless the maker of this table, and just see if it works for you. It's just bringing things to you in different ways and forms, so that if something clicks and something to help you memorize and retain the information, inshallah. Okay, so when they are independent, they are going to be in the form of ana, nahnu, iyaya, iyana. When they are muttasil, they are going to be ta'ul mutakallim, and ta'ul mutakallim will have what? Haraka. Ta'ul mutakallim. Ta'ul mutakallim. Nasartu. Just think about it. Nasartu. It is going to be dhamma, right? Ta'ul file is now is being just called ta'ul mutakallim, right? Nasartu. Nasartu. It's going to be Dhamma. Ya'ul mutakallim, we know that. Ya'ul mutakallim is ya sakoon, or it can be with a fatha as well in some cases, right? And we have learned few cases when ya'ul mutakallim comes with fatha. And then comes the na'ul mutakallimin, right? When it is muttasil. Just we have done that table where we have seen razakna, razakana Allahu, and rabbana, right? So all three forms are available for this one, and the same goes on with this one. I will want you to do it on your own. Okay, is this something that's too hard to be done on your own? You have already done it. Okay, you have already covered this topic. This is not something that we have not gone over. It's just another way of presenting things. Okay, that you can just see, okay, this is also another way. I can, ta'ul mukhatib is going to be ta fatha, ta kasra, ta damma. And if it is tadamma with meme fatha, ma tasni after it, it's going to be for dual. And if it is meme sakoon after it, then it's going to be for a masculine plural. If it is nun mushaddada, nun li jamai inas after taul file, then it's going to be for antunna. Okay, so it's not going to be hard. Let's learn something about kaful khitab. What is kaful khitab for you? What do you know about kaful khitab? When I present to you, it's kaful khitab. Just when you, yeah, iyaka, that is kaful khitab. When you see word um nasartuka, what is kaf? I helped you. Ka is again kaful khitab, right? It's a pronoun, kaful khitab, right? When you see um, nabuduka, we worship you. Ka is kaful khitab, right? All this is going to be kaful khitab, right? When you see kaf, every kaf, like kum, kaki, kumakum, kunna, that is kaful khitab. Today you are going to learn, is every kaful khitab, not every kaf is going to be harf, my dear sisters. When I am writing, when is kaful khitab harf? When is kaful khitab harf? It means that it is basically a pronoun that is an ism, but now there are cases when that you are going to learn when it is a harf. Because let me, just not to confuse you, my dear sisters. Let me see, I have the attached pronoun table. I thought that I put it here as well somewhere. Um, 1 second, give me 1 second. Here, this ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna, you always used to call them nasb or jar, right? You call them nasb or jar, yes or no? Right? They are your nasb or jar pronoun, and this all these caps are kaful khitab, okay? And they are nasb or jar, they are your pronouns. Today, what we are going to learn is when kaful khitab is going to be a harf. You already know one case when it is a harf, when it is it is called harful khitab, and everyone is alhamdulillah well versed with that, right? When it is attached with iya, very well done, and that is such I'm so happy that you are retaining all the information. So now see, sometimes there are three more cases when you are going to see your kaful khitab is going to be it is going to be a harf, and that is in the case of zalika, zalikuma, zalikum, zalikunna, tilka, tilkuma, tilkum. And have you ever seen them in Quran? Do you think we have covered them in Quran? We ever see them in Quran? Yes. So if I ask you, your when it is attached to ismul ishara is ti here, lam is lam lil bu'ad, and kuma is this kaf. It's going to be considered a harf la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. In case of zalika, za is ismul ishara, lam is lamul bu'd for distancing, and kaf is kaful khitab, and that is going to be a harf. In case of zalikum, in that, oh you all, when you say oh you all, that oh you all, you is this kaf is going to be kaful khitab. It's a harf la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. In case of kazaliki, ya Maryam, ki is going to be harf. It's going to be harf khitab la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. In case of zalikunna, this kaf, this very kaf is going to be harf la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Ism here is the, okay? Is this clear? That, oh, you all females, is the one who you all blamed me about him, in regards to him. Then comes zalikuma. Here again, you are seeing kuma, that is going to be, the kaf is going to be harf la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Is this clear to each and every one of you? If you see this zalika, zalikuma, zalikum, every time kaful khitab is going to be harf. And you know, ma here, what is the ma here? Ma is ma tasniya, right? Ma is harf lit tasniya. Kum, meme is there for meme li jamai zakur. Noon li jamai inath, ma tasniya. Okay, so these same concepts are going to be, repeated everywhere. Okay, so now the next thing is, when there's the next case, we are going to see kaf as kaful khitab as harf. In Quran, there is a case when you see alaykum anfusakum, you make it lazim upon yourself. That the translation goes like this, and I'm going to show you that very verse. In that case, ala is ismu fail. Ala is not harf here, and that's very something new for most of you or some of you. So ala in that case is ismu fail. How many ways you can command someone in the Quran? I have taught you that. I have taught you that. There are 4 ways of commanding. Tell me the 4 ways of commanding. Failul Amr, number one, standard, right? Failul Amr. Akhbir, Akimus Salah, Akimu, right? Simple. You can use masdar. You can use masdar as naib from the Failul Amr, right? It can be naib for Failul Amr. Masdar can be used. Then there is an ismu fail, like Ameen, right? Ameen means as istajib, right? Istajib. I was about to say astajib. No, it is istajib, right? Right? You all remember that? There was another way that there's a harf that you can attach to fail mudare, and that harf is called lamul amr. Lamul amr, very well done. And by that, you can command someone as well, right? Is this clear? Lamul amr. When you talk about ismu fail, let's bring just among the 4. I want you to now focus on ismu fail. Here, ala is ismu fail in the meaning of alzimu. Lazim kar lo apne upar. Does it make sense? Make it mandatory upon yourself. Okay, so here I'm going to show you an example of that in Quran. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu alaykum anfusakum. O who have believed, upon you is the responsibility for yourself. Those who have gone astray will not harm you when you have been guided. Okay? So here, Allah is not your harf jar. Allah is not your harf jar. It is your ismu fail here. What is Allah here? Ismu fail. It is ismu fail, and your ismu fail is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Remember that. Your ismu fail is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Here, ismu fail has a meaning like alzimu. Lazim kar lo. Okay? Make it mandatory upon yourself. This anfusakum is mafulun bihi for your ismu fail. This kum here, this kum, this very kum. The kaf here is kaful khitab. You all know that, right? It is kaful khitab. It's going to be again harf in this case as well. It is harf khitab. Kaful khitab is harful khitab. Very good job. You got it? So if it is harf, will it have any i'rab? Because if it was an ism, I will, if Allah was a harjar, I will, say kaf is majroor bil idafa. But here, kaf is not majroor bil idafa because anyways, Allah is not an harf. Allah is an ismu fail. La mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Kaf is kaf al-kitab. La mahalla laha min al-i'rab. And mim is again harf bi jama'i zakur. La mahalla laha min al-i'rab. The file here, it is, when you see Amin or when you see those ismu fail, usually, do you think the file is, by anfusakum, you can figure out that this is you all, antum is a file. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is this clear to all of you? Type 1 if it is. Sister Faiza, are you with me? 1? Everyone? I want 1 from not just Sister Faiza, everyone. Hey? 2? Totally? Okay, you are totally with me. And I will wait for the rest of the sisters as well. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So I am going to then move ahead and show you the 4th case. Sister Afshan, 0.5, okay. So just remember, when you see, and this is 1 case only, so it's going to be an easy one for you, that there is 1 case when Allah is not, in Quran, is not harf jar. This Allah is an ism. Isn't it amazing that what you are learning? You have never learned, most of you, I was like, when I learned this concept, my dear sisters, I get very excited about such things because that's very, how, there was a time when I used to enjoy wearing new clothes and, dressing up and everything, but not anymore. So now the source of enjoyment and glee for me is, learning something new. So first of all, Allah is not harjar. Allah is an ism in this case. And there is another case when Allah is an ism, and that I will teach you in some time later, if it comes in some hadith or something. But remember, Allah is ismu fail. Ismu fail are la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Then when you see ismu fail ala and there is alayka or alaykum, the kaful khitab that comes with ala is always going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab, because it is harf in that case. Okay? When ala is ismu fail and kaful khitab is attached to it, in that case kaful khitab is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Sister Amreen, is this clear now? Because in rest,
my question was, every time we see alaikum, it's ismu fail and
no. In every in the entire
specific
Quran.
situations.
Yeah. Sorry, sister. My apologies, I cut you. You can complete your question.
No, you got my question. Jazakallah.
I mean, Vayaki. So it is the only one case that I have known so far. This is the, there may be other examples, but this is the only example that I found in Quran where Allah is ismu fail and it is not harf jar. And in this case, when it is ismu fail, it is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab, and kaf is going to be harf khitab. In all other cases, alaykum, when you see ala is harf jar and kum is going to be majroor because of harf jar. But only in this case, you are going to say kaful khitab la mahalla laha min al-i'rab because it is harf in this case. Sister Zohra, you have your hand raised as well.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Yeah, the meme is al-jama' al-zakur and also la mahalla laha min al-i'rab.
Yes, it is also the same.
And the pronoun antum is just understood.
Yeah, it is, anfusakum, it means like, when you have alaykum, it means you all make lazim upon yourself. Well, when it is alayka, it means you
make lazima
upon yourself. Make sense?
Yeah, but we cannot separate here pronouns.
No, you cannot, you don't need to, you don't separate. Here you have alaykum, and in my slide you will see alayka, alaykum. If it is alayki, it means you girl make lazim upon yourself. If it is alaykuma, you too make lazim upon yourself.
Okay, thank you.
You most welcome. Take care. Okay, now let's see the last case. Okay, you haven't seen in Quran ra'aytaka. Did you see ara'aytaka? You see a ta and then there's a kaf, and you usually are, how do I translate this ka after this ta, right? And here you have some example. Qul ara'aytakum. You say, did you see? Oh, you all? In atakum azabullahi, if a punishment of Allah comes to you. So you see kum here, it seems, what is kum doing here? There are three cases when you see kaf after ta. And it is said that it is for tawqeed. As Sister Shamim is bringing this up. Yeah, it is said that this is for tawqeed, right? Did you see? Oh, you all. Like, you already are addressing someone. Did you see? Oh, you all. And then you see, and then oh, you all. Where is kum coming from? You already are addressing someone. And then there's an additional kum there. In the case of ara'aytaka. Again, there is already, did you see? Oh, you ara'aytakum in between Surah Al-An'am 47. So again, in these three cases, there are three cases that I could find from Quran. Your kaf is going to be kaful khitab. It's going to be a harf. La mahalla laha min al-i'rab. You're not going to call it maful bihi, and you can check for yourself in your i'rab books. Okay. It's going to be, kaf is going to be kaful khitab. And kaf, when it attaches itself to ta'ul khitab, it's going to be harf la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Okay, so now you should know, you are not going to call this this ka as maf'ul bihi. What is this? This is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab, just for tawqeed. There is nothing in Quran that is extra, right? There is always some meaning behind. Okay, so this, when you say, oh, did you see? Oh, you all. I'm addressing someone and then I'm bringing in again, oh, you all. So what is the purpose? There's a tawqeed there, but grammatically, this kaf is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Is everyone with me? Type 1. So, so there are 4 cases. There are, 3 verses where you are going to see ta and kaf together. Ta'ul khitab, which is ta'ul fa'il, followed by kaful khitab. And in these 3 cases, you are going to see in ta'ul khitab. And I'm just remember, it's not just ta'ul fa'il. I should put it here, ta'ul khitab, because ta'ul fa'il can be for ana as well. So let me just make it ta'ul khitab. When ittasalu kafil khitab bi ta'ul khitab. Okay, very important, very important. Okay, when you see both translated as you, both you, then the kaf that is coming after ta is going to be harf la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Okay, so now let me show you something that we have covered in our first session. And I told you, I gave you a book, and I gave you, there can be other possibility for this as well. When we were learning our independent pronouns, and when we were in the beginning of our grammar, in the beginning sessions, we have learned that huwa, hiya, huma, and all these pronouns are what in status? They are rough in status. These form is rough in status, right? This huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antum, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. Then comes your right hand column where you find them in nasb status, right? Everyone should be on the same page in regards to this, right? Now when you see, there is a pronoun that is seen in Surah Al-A'raf, verse number 92. Kanu humul khasirin. Can you label this verse for me? Kanu humul khasirin. What will we call kanu? It's a jumla ismiya beginning with fail nakis. And waw is going to be fail nakis, madin. Baw is ismu kana. So after every ismu kana, when we find out our ismu kana, we look for khabru kana, right? What kind of a khabar do you have? Is it a jumla or a mufradism or what? It is, the khabar is jumla ismiya. Jumla failure? Where is the fail? There is no fail. It's a mufradism. So some of you are saying jumla ismiya, some are saying mufradism. Guys, Umma, I need some, ijtimas here, we should be on the same page. Okay, let me tell you. If you are calling it a jumla ismiya, then home is going to be what you are considering home as mubtada, and al-khasirina as what? As a khabar. But is khabar of home khasirina? Can khabar of home can be khasirina? It cannot. It cannot be, right? It is khasiruna, right? It is raf status. Khabar of home is raf status. So you cannot say that your khabar is jumla ismiya in this case. Kanu ismu kana babil jamaa, khabru kana al khasirina. Is this clear to each and everyone? Does it make sense? Do you all agree? Everyone agrees? So what is this home doing here? What is the role of this home? It is for emphasis. And you must have seen on my slide. Can I call this home mubtada? Now that you are you know that there's no khabar for this, can you call this mubtada? Now tell me if you can call this mubtada. So if it is not mubtada, then it is not rough in status, right? It's just like it has no i'rab for itself, isn't it? It's just there for emphasis. It is damirul fasl, litaqid, and it is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. So inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you barakah in your knowledge, in your amal. It's very sometimes, yes, it is a referee pronoun, and in this case, you know, it has no i'rab. It is not rough in status. So when you revisit my slides now, with some exceptions, you now will know that independent pronouns can be rough as mubtada. They can be nasb as maf'ul bihi, as we have seen in iyahu, yana, and they can also be la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab. And in this case, their purpose is tawqeed, emphasis. Is this clear to every one of you? And there is a whole topic that you have to cover in regards to this damirul fasl. Okay? But before I take you to that topic, I just want you to introduce you to this fact that sometimes it will have no i'rab. It's not going to be labeled as mubtada. It's going to be wrong to label your home as mubtada and call sentence after, consider jumla as jumla, because it is not a jumla. It is just a mufrad ism, khabar. As you can see here, khasirina is nasb in status. What is the reason? What tells you in word khasirina that the word is nasb in status? Give me one letter. And I want answers from everyone. Don't tell me ina. Ya is there that tells you that the word is nasb in status. The reason I'm saying that don't give me ina, now that you have learned so much, because noon sometimes can be omitted, right? Noon is not always there. Sometimes you will see it omitted. So remember, ya is the letter that is the sign of nasb status in word al-khasirina. So keeping that ya in mind, and keeping the time constraint in mind, I'm going to teach you something about ya. Okay. How many yas do you see? How many yas have you learned so far? What do you think? Give me some yas that you have learned. Ya al-mutakallim. Very well done. Okay. Yeah, that is ya, harf nida ya. That is harf nida ya, that is with alif as well. But I'm just talking about just ya. Letter ya. Letter ya. Okay. Ya al-mukhatiba. Yes, very well done. Ya al-mukhatiba, very well done. So now let's just review them, and in these 2 minutes, let's see how much we can do. When you see ya al-mutakallim, ya al-mukhatiba, let me give you the types of yas, okay? There is ya al-mutakallim, ya al-mukhatiba, ya al-i'rab, which means ya of status, ya al-mudari, ya al-nisba. Remember in the very beginning of the course, when I gave you the signs of ism, I told you there is a word that's going to be an ism if it has this special ya attached to it, like Bengali, Pakistani, and those Ajami, Arabi, Khawari, all these words in Quran. All these yas, they are part of the word, and this ya is called ya nisba. This you may have not read it very well, or you may have not been very familiar with this one, but this was among your 7 signs of an ism. If a word has this ya at the end, it's going to be an ism. So is this ya make any sense to every one of you? Yes, it is also seen in ism jins jam'i. If I remove, from some of them, in case of Arabi, if I remove the ya and I am left with Arab, then I can get my plural as well, right? The ya in case of ism jins jami is also ya nisba, that when you remove it, you get your plural. For example, in word Rumi, what is the plural for the word? Rumi. The word is ending with yaul nisba. Room is the plural, right? So yaul nisba is a harf, and it tells you an association with something. Okay, is this clear? So it's a harf. It's going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. It's going to be the part of the word. It's going to be inside a word. When it comes to yaul mudari, what is yaul mudari? It tells you word is mudari. Yes or no? When you see yaul mudari in the beginning of the word, you know your word is mudari. And remember, it's going to be madmoom. Madmoom meaning what? Madmoom, madmooma. It is going to be with dhamma. It's going to be with dhamma. In which case, if your rubai means four-letter word, in case of if your word is if your madin is four-lettered, then you are going to see a dhamma on yaul mudare. If your word is salasi, from afal that are salasi, khumasi, sudasi, for example, if it is mujarrad, you will see ya with fatha. It is going to be maftuha. In case of mazid bi harfain, you are going to see it with fatha. In case of afal that are mazid bi harfain, you are going to see your yaul mudare with fatha. In case of afal that are mazid bi salasat al ahraf, you are going to see yaul mudare with fatha. And yes, when there is a majhul, when there is mudare majhul, your yaul mudare is going to get a dhamma. Is this clear to all of you? Right? Easy. Now, yaul i'rab. What is yaul i'rab? Yaw status. If in your word a ya is indicating the status of a word, you are going to call it yaul i'rab. For example, when your word is dual, nasb jar dual, muslimaini, what is the sign of status? The ya is a sign of status, right? In that case, ya muslimaini, ya is a sign of status and it is called yaul i'rab. It's a harf again, la muhalla laha min al-i'rab. In case of muslimina, what tells you the word is nasb jar plural? Ya again tells you, in case of jamal muzakkar salim, that the word is nasb jar plural, right? In case of asmaul khamsa, zi, abi, akhi, fi, what is the sign of status? Yaul mudariya. Sorry, yaul i'rab. Yaul i'rab is a sign of status, and I'm 2 minutes above my time, but I just want to finish this topic. So remember, it's going to be madiya. It is read with mad in case of muslimina. In case of jama muzakkar salim, it is madiya, and same with asmaul khamsa. You read it with a mad. But in case of muslimaini, is ya read with a mad or is it a lean? It's a lean. Barakallahu fi. Yeah, it is gair madiya. You can classify it as ya gair madiya, because yes, it is lean is mad and ma, but it's not mad, right? So you can just to for your ease, you can say that in case of dual, ya is gair madiya. Okay, is this clear? Now the last two are very, very interesting, and we'll leave it for the next session. We will start with our Yal Mutakallim, Yal Mukhatiba, and I will leave you with this much information for today. And please, this topic needs lot of review, and I cannot emphasize more than this. So, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sisters.